right, you may or may not know, but I am the oldest, and as the oldest, I feel like I'm the more responsible one.
Let's tone it down. Just because you're the oldest doesn't mean you're the most responsible. I feel like there's things I'm more likely to do.
Well, I feel like as the oldest, I've lived more life. I feel I have more experiences, and so I am more likely to survive.
All right, well, let's settle it today. Welcome to the Point of View podcast. My name's Uyiosa.
And my name's Osatohamen.
And here we are today for another episode.
Yep, we're super excited to be here again and ready to talk about it.
Oh yeah, today we are doing a sisterly debate. There's some questions that need to be settled.
Yes, it really does, because Uyiosa and I, she feels like she's more likely to do one thing. I feel like I'm more likely to do that thing. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to settle it here. Instead of us arguing in our rooms, we'll argue on camera.
All right. Let's jump right into it. For our very first question, it's who's more likely to move abroad?
Interesting. So I personally think I'm more likely to move abroad. If you know me in person, you know I've been talking about traveling to all these different places. Like, that's what I talk about a lot. I feel like I've even talked about it on this podcast before. Like, I have this desire to travel and to experience new cultures. I'm actually immersed in other cultures. I listen to music from different cultures, like Spanish music, Japanese music, like a bit of Korean music. Like, I'm not just, stuck in American, like the American culture. I want to experience and learn and travel and be in different cultures. And so I feel like I've almost never heard Uyiosa talk about wanting to move abroad or do anything. Like, yeah, she's like, oh, I can't wait to leave the house because she's graduating in like a few weeks. That's different than moving different countries. Uyiosa growing up was literally a homebody. Like, she was...
Whoa, what?
You were literally a homebody.
How?
You just, prefer to be at home. It was you.
I think you're mixing this up with my brother.
No, both of you. In fact, Mom always used to say you both are homebodies. And it was me who literally had FOMO.
Okay, but I'm going to bring up a point. When you went to college, you missed your family more, and you were only 3 states away.
Okay, but I missed the family more, but that was also because I'm the oldest and I'm experiencing things for the first time. Like, it's different than when our brother or you were going to go off to college and it's like, oh, okay, this has already been done multiple times. But everything I was experiencing was eldest sibling, I'm, older
true.
sibling. So it's right now, if I need to leave, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just okay, bye. I'm so used to I don't know, being an adult now. So you can't really compare that situation back then.
All right, fine. I'll give you that one. But I will say I haven't talked about traveling, but I want to travel. I have talked about doing graduate school abroad. I know I brought that up.
Yes.
But
so have I.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm more likely to just move abroad. And not
than me?
Yeah, not even just oh, let me travel somewhere for a month or two. Literally move somewhere abroad, because I'm just more receptive to new things. I'm less attached to my home and this and that. Of course I'm going to miss my family, but I'm someone that easily integrates into new things. So I just feel like,
because you're the middle child. There's a difference. As the oldest, you are... Older siblings know this. You're experiencing things, especially if you come from an immigrant household, for the first time. You're saying you're more receptive to things because you're already seeing two people do it.
True.
So it's okay, it's not that big of a deal. But for me, it's oh my gosh, I'm the first in my family, all my family, our parents, and I'm literally the first to do so many things.
Maybe. But then wouldn't that make me more likely to move abroad?
No,
because I have less of that.
If we were comparing 18-year-old me to soon 18-year-old you, yes, you would be more likely. But okay. I feel right now where I am, because we're comparing us right now,
okay,
I'm more likely to move abroad.
I feel like I could maybe see you moving abroad just because of age-wise, But let's not say we're both 18 because like that's young. But let's say we're both 22. I feel like out of the two of us, it's most likely to move. Let's just say Spain or France for a year. Let's just like a year you're doing school there, whatever it is. I just feel like I would be more likely to because I'm just someone that like it's just easier for me to move. Every time we've lived in what 4 different places that I've been like, I mean, when I was like a baby, but like that I've been like here for, and I just feel like every single time it's been more easy for me to just assimilate and find new people and to just become a part of this new life that we're living. Not that it's necessarily been hard for you, but I just feel like for me, I'm just someone that comes easy to, and maybe moving abroad and seeing new cultures, though you are more integrated into cultures because I listen to whatever music I want. But I just think that would make me a more likely recipient to moving abroad than you.
You remember, so you were talking about like doing graduate school, and you're saying 22-year-old you would be more likely than 22-year-old me. But I think, do you remember that when I went to college in St. Louis, I really, like the school I was at had a Madrid campus. Do you remember that? And do you remember how I was going to do a year of study abroad in the Madrid campus? And why did I say it?
I actually don't remember that, but I believe you.
So what had happened was that the school I was at, St. Louis University, it has a Madrid campus. And so it's like the same classes, but just in Spain. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I can do the study abroad, but it's still the same school. So it wouldn't be like I'm going to some like Spanish school that, you know, things may not transfer. I know everything will transfer because it's the exact same school, just different campuses.
Yeah.
And the only reason I didn't do that is because I want to go to medical school, and med schools don't like if you take courses outside of the U.S. And that is literally the only reason why I didn't go to the Madrid campus.
That's valid. I mean, again,
I was ready to go and study abroad, like, at 19 years old.
Again, because we're, like, our own people, of course you're going to think, well, I'm more likely to because you think I'm going to do this. But I think at the end of the day, we're both at slightly equal levels for this, which is why it's, like, such, like, a back and forth. Because it's not...
I feel like most of these we're so equal. And some of them, it's like... Oh,
it could really go.
It could go both ways, but I just feel like I'm more than you.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean,
and you feel like you're more than me.
So I guess we probably won't be settling any today. It's just whatever our opinions are.
No, I feel like the comments need to settle it for us.
Yeah, I mean, you guys probably don't know us super well, just based off of what we said and how we look. I don't know, but just who do you think would be more likely to move abroad? And let's just put a time on. Let's just say a year, because I mean, like, you're probably not going to live in Spain your whole life.
No.
I mean, but let's just say a year, and we'll see. I mean, I think it's me. She thinks it's her. But
do I think I'm going to do it anytime soon?
Yeah, like, no. Am I going to do it?
I don't think where I am in life is really the best way to live abroad. Like, I'm planning on going to medical school. Like, there's just no time for me to actually move abroad anymore. Like, college would have been the best time, but like I said, med schools don't like when you move abroad. Yeah. And so, like, who's maybe more likely to actually do it? Definitely Yosa.
Yeah, but would I do it? Oh no, but only because, again, I'm not getting like a doctorate or anything, but I just think going to college in America provides a better opportunity for me and just for the path I want to go on.
And there's so many study abroads for 6 months, 1 year, and so I'm sure Yosa would honestly do it.
Maybe grad school or just
like, I have friends that are going to grad school like in Australia.
Yeah, I know. I think I know a girl going to the St. Louis Madrid campus.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I knew a few people that did that.
I don't know. I guess we'll see. But all right. You want to introduce the second question?
Okay, so this one, this is so random, but it's who would survive a zombie apocalypse, or who is more likely to survive a zombie apocalypse?
Okay, I think I'll start with my point. I think just based off of, there's a lot of things, because I've watched The Walking Dead, I've watched a couple shows, but just like, it comes down to 3 things, right? Athleticism, survival instincts, and like intelligence, right? Is at the end of the day, and well, I guess 4th could be like, you know, sanity, humanity,
Plot
but,
armor.
yeah, or plot, like who the writers like more. But just based off of like what I've seen, a lot of this is like unrealistic. But I feel like I'm more athletic, and also it is because I'm in high school sports currently, and you're not. But like I just feel like I'm one, more athletic. Two, not necessarily have better survival instincts, but I just feel like I would be quicker to want to be like, okay, let's get into, because I'm someone that's very quick when it comes to doing something that I want to do. When it comes to my life, when it comes to survival,
But then
I'm quick.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, and then third, I mean, you don't have to use these points, but I'm just like thinking back to the zombie movies I've watched.
What's that one zombie movie on Disney that they're like dancing?
It's Zombies. It's literally called Zombies.
I've never watched it, and I never want to.
Never watched it, and I never. Although the main character is hot, Milo Manheim.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people like the movie, because of the main guy.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't. It's so cringe. It's like Descendants, but like watered down and zombie version.
Let's not offend Descendants. That's a goated movie.
And third, I just think my instincts, not necessarily that hers are bad. I just think my instincts are quicker. Especially when it comes to something like survival, you're immediately in action. You're like, you can't be thinking about this, you can't be thinking about that. And like, neither of us have kids, neither of us are married. So we're not having to think about a family. This is literally just, if you are literally in a random place, you are literally surrounded by zombies, what are you doing, right? Like, that's immediately like, what are you doing? How are you surviving? And how are you going to get out of there?
Interesting. So I think the only thing you could say that maybe would be athleticism.
Yeah.
And the only reason is because, like, I'm not doing any sports or any, like, I'm not really exercising anymore, just because, like, I'm out of high school. I'm out of, like, technically college. Like, it's like, I'm not really doing anything to, like, propel myself to be super athletic. But you are just coming off of a track season. Like, you have been, like, athletic. I think if we were the same age, at like 17, I don't think athletic. So. I did the same sports as you did.
You didn't do tennis.
In fact, that's worse. Tennis is less athletic than track.
Yeah, but you have to be strong enough, right? You have to be
to swing your arm. And we're talking about running away.
And your legs. Don't disrespect the tennis players.
Your legs with running. Think about it.
You're running.
I did the 100, the 200. I did hurdles.
So did I.
You didn't do hurdles?
Yes, I did in middle school.
Oh, okay. Well, I did it in high school.
Yeah, for like what, 1 year?
That's more than you.
I did 3 sports.
I did soccer growing up.
So did I.
I did dance.
I'm talking like high school.
Like
yeah, everyone did soccer and t-ball or t-ball when they were in like elementary school.
Oh my gosh. So I think that right now, like, if we're different ages, yes.
I think if we were the same age, I would be slightly more athletic.
I don't think so.
Just slightly.
I think that you never did varsity basketball. I did varsity basketball.
Well, that's just because I quit.
Doesn't matter. I still did it.
Did you play?
Yes.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
I saw you. You didn't play.
I played in some games. Okay. And and it's not games that is really what you're using. You're using practice, because what is it?
Yeah, but it's the same we practice with varsity, so it was like.
And not always.
You
always would separate.
We scrimmaged with them. Well, because I was both for my sophomore year.
Anyway, I feel like I would be more athletic. That's just.
Okay, all right. Give us your other points.
And then you talked about just
like
survival
instincts, and then like just like survival. Like, what would you do? How would you get out of the situation? How would you fight the zombies?
So I think that if we are talking about just regular life, living through life, going around, Yosa is definitely more like decisive, more like, oh, I'm gonna get things done. I'm more like, I have time, I'll push it off. That is true. But I feel like when it has to do with like emergencies or life or anything like that, I am on top of it. Anyone that actually knows me, our mom knows that, like, if she really needs me to do something like that, like, oh, this is happening, I need someone there, who does she call? She calls her oldest child.
Okay,
me.
Also because you're the oldest.
But you have a license, you can drive, you can do all the things too, but she will still call me because she knows that,
okay, but that's like saying, like, oh, am I going to call, like, my mom or my dad? Probably mom, just because mom has always been the one doing. Not that I'm saying
There we
dads
go.
can't,
But so that is making my point, because you're literally making my point, because she's
How?
more likely to call the person that you know that you can more rely
okay,
on.
but like this is a zombie apocalypse.
Exactly, but that's my point. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I have time. There's no time. The zombie is right there.
I don't think most, like, anyone would do that. I think like most people would either. Here's one of two things. Most people are either gonna spring into action, or people are gonna freeze. Most of the time.
And I know I wouldn't freeze.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't think I would freeze. I think we would both be people that are very much on top of it, but I just think
I would.
My athleticism.
Yeah, athleticism. Have you ever been put in a position? Here, I keep using the example of a few years ago, our dad like had like this heart thing, and he literally collapsed on the floor. And it was like 4 a.m. My mom runs into my room, and she's like, I need you to call 911. Your dad just collapsed.
I thought you were the one that found him.
No, I was sleeping. It was 4 a.m.
I thought someone said dad fell, and like I thought you were the one.
Mom runs
up. I really thought you were the one that found him.
No, mom runs into my room. So their room, the master bedroom's downstairs where we live in Texas, and my room's upstairs. She runs up to my room. It's like, hey, wake up. Dad literally just collapsed. Like, I need you to call 911. So I grab my phone. I run downstairs. I see Dad. He's literally on the floor. like on the floor.
Dad, don't be mad that we're talking about you.
Are we breaking HIPAA? No, it's okay. It's our dad.
We're not doctors.
That's true. I'm not a doctor
yet.
But he's on the floor, like, and it's crazy. I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
And I don't freeze. In fact, I immediately jump into action, grab my phone, because I think our parents sometimes make us, like, when I was growing up, made us put our phones downstairs. I can't remember if my phone was downstairs or upstairs, but I grabbed my phone.
I was in 7th grade, so you would have been in 11th. So
yeah, no, I was in 11th grade, so I don't know. Sometimes, like, you would put, remember, you put it down, you don't put it down.
We always put our phones down, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, we do. But, like, I dial 911. I'm like, hello, 911. Like, my dad, like, just collapsed. Like, he's on the floor. Like, I don't know what's going on. And, like, I'm, like, on the phone with them the whole time. And, like, they're like, don't hang up. And then the ambulance, it's like a fire truck ambulance that comes.
Yeah, I remember.
They, like, come, and, like, I'm on the phone the whole time. By the time they get there, Dad is, like, already, like, awake. And he's trying to sit up. They're like, sit down.
Sit down, pal.
And so that to me just shows that, like, I don't freeze. Like, that is a prime opportunity to, like, I'm like this 16-year-old kid, right?
Or maybe 17.
No, I would have been I just turned 17.
Yes, because it was like second semester of school.
It was February.
Yeah.
I think it was February.
Oh, yeah, because it was right before COVID.
It was like a few weeks before COVID. So I think I had, like, my birthday is February 4th. I had just turned 17. Yeah. So maybe it was like a week or two after I turned 17. This 17-year-old kid, like, this has never happened before. I literally see my dad on the ground.
Yeah.
I could have freaked out. I could have froze. I did not. I jumped into action. I was able to give the 911 all the information they needed. Like, it was go, go, go. And so that, to me, I have been put in a situation that is similar to, like, oh, this is an emergency. Oh, this is like...
Okay, but you also have to think about a zombie apocalypse. It's not necessarily even the shock factor that gets people, let's say the zombies, because they're fake, obviously, eat people's brains. So you got, like, 20 zombies coming at you. This is also what I'm imagining. Like, no one actually knows what's going to happen if there's a zombie. Or I hope I never know if there's a zombie apocalypse.
Honestly, I think that at that point, I'm like, sorry, side note. Like, I always am like, in all these books, you see these people trying so hard to survive.
I'm like, why are you fighting?
Trying to survive? Like, genuinely. Like,
yeah, like, literally an episode of The Walking Dead, they were given, like, an opportunity, like, okay, we can all blow ourselves up and, like, just, like,
I'm sorry, but, like, the world, is done. So, like, even if you could defeat all the zombies,
like, what are
like,
you
have to
fighting
survive,
for?
like, this, like
there's you and,
world.
like, 30 other people. Now you have to restart civilization.
Does that sound fun?
No,
I'm sorry.
Honestly, I'm with the
I want to go to
people.
heaven. I'm done.
Like I'm like, hey, I'm bringing me to my God, bro.
I'm
out.
over it. So I never understood why we're trying so hard to survive.
Yeah, but like I just feel like if zombies are coming at you, you gotta find a weapon. You've got to find a way to survive. You've got to find.
I know I would do
food.
that.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like I would just be more likely to survive
I can
fighting
think
zombies.
outside of the box, Yosa.
That is true, but also
I like am able to figure out things. Like there's times where like, okay, let us think about this critically, Yosa.
Okay.
Anytime there's something in the house that needs to be like fixed or someone needs to figure out something, who do they come to?
well, mom and dad come to you, but also
Our parents literally come to me.
also
Our
there's
mother
there's
comes
a
to me.
4-year difference.
It doesn't
So-
matter. They were still coming to me at your age.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, wait, like my age right now?
No, like any age you've been in, like I mean, like since I was little, my parents would sometimes come to me.
Yeah, because again, it's also routine. Like every single parent I know, they fall back on the oldest. My friends that are the oldest, their parents fall back on them. It's always them. It's always them.
I have shown if I was so like. If I not now that you're saying
yeah, but as the oldest, you had to step up. Like I don't know, maybe there are, but I don't know any oldest sibling that's ever like been like no. Like every oldest sibling I know is like you. They're like I'm the boss. I've got to do this. Mom and dad
as the
are counting on
oldest,
me.
wouldn't you think that I would survive more just
I think
because of
we
my
would
life
both-
experiences?
I think we would both survive, but I would just be more likely to. And no, I'm not even talking about surviving to the end because, like, again, plot armor, whatever, if this is like
Plot
a show.
armor.
But I just feel like in like those first couple weeks, in those moments, fighting off the zombies, also figuring out how to kill them. Because in The Walking Dead, you had to like stab them through the brain. And some of them, you have to chop off their head. You have to cut out their heart. Like there's different ones, like finding out how to kill them, finding out how to survive, what weapons to use, who to trust.
I think you don't think I would be able to figure out more. The person that called Apple to fix plugging in our phone into the car, and they didn't know what to do, and I figured out how to do it.
I think you would, but I just think I would
No,
be more likely.
I think that I am more. I'm sorry.
All right. Well,
I
just
think
have
my
to-
experiences as the oldest child has just shown, and you haven't shown. You're just using your mouth to say that.
Well, I haven't shown. Well, I don't need to show it because everyone knows I can do it.
No,
Like
that's not how
everything
it
that you
works.
do, it's like yes, I can do it, but mom and dad asked you, so why would it be like, oh no, let me? Like I'm not gonna offer to do something if like do you like fixing stuff? No, it sucks, but like
No,
someone
I do
has
like
to,
fixing it.
Like someone has to do it eventually. Like the microwave breaks, dad has to go fix it. There's something wrong with the dishwasher.
Why does
dad
Dad
has to
never
go
ask
fix it.
you to go fix the filter in the water or in the fridge?
Because he just never showed me. Like
Why?
he never. Our brother doesn't know either. Because our only brother doesn't know how to fix. Even I don't even know if he knows how to fix a tire. Like,
Well, I feel like Dad showed us like a few times, and I keep forgetting.
I don't.
That's the one thing I'm like, I will never
That's
get.
why we have YouTube.
That's why we have YouTube. Honestly, Mom
do
and Dad,
have
can
a-
we get AAA back?
Yeah, I have a spare tire, but I don't have the little spinny thing.
No, you do.
In the car.
You just don't have the fancy one, but every like spare tire comes with it.
I think I saw it when they showed us the car, but I was like, because my other car didn't have a spare tire, so I was like,
Did it? Oh wow.
so I was like, if we
No, it did.
maybe someone used it because I didn't see anything.
No, it's underneath, and I
Yeah,
know.
and it's like under. You have to lift up the trunk.
Yeah, but it was in the old car.
Maybe it was. I don't know. Someone told me that we didn't have one.
No, we did. I know because what had happened is, remember how I was driving one day and like that curb by our house, like I drove way too close to it and it's like jutted out, and so it ripped a hole in the tire.
Really?
Yeah, and so I had to take it. We took it to I think Costco for them to be able to fix it. And so the only way for us to drive there is if you have a spare tire. Every car has a spare tire.
I know. Actually, there was one when we were buying our new car. It was a car that didn't have a spare tire, and my dad was like, "We're not buying this." They're like, "Where's the spare tire?" Like, "Oh, like it's somewhere in like the shop," and I was like, like they literally lifted up the truck and there was nothing in there, and I was
What
like,
kind of car doesn't have a spare
I was
tire?
like, what the heck? You'd be surprised. When we were looking on the website, some of them were like no spare tire, and I'm like,
So then, like, if your tire is done, do you have to get a whole tow truck now? Like,
Basically.
that's stupid. That's not worth your
Yeah.
money.
I know. That's why we like immediately walked out. We're like, we're not doing this. All right. This one is a little bit. I could go either way, but who's more likely to take advice given to them? And here you can start because I started last time.
Okay, so our parents could speak more to this because, like, I feel like the people that give us the most advice are our parents. I can't really.
Right? It's kind of, yeah.
I mean, who else is really?
I mean,
yeah,
each other, I guess.
I guess each other, but the more advice is definitely our parents. But I feel like, especially when people like give me advice, like at first, I don't know, maybe it's just I don't know, it's why it's in my nature, but I'm just like I argue. I'm like, I don't know about that. No.
Because no one wants to be wrong.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily wrong. No one wants to be like, oh, well, you should be doing this, this, and this. Like, no one likes hearing that,
No.
right? Like,
And so I feel like when I'm first given advice or first given like, hey, like you should do better at this, I'm more likely to argue. But then I always go back and I take it in and I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe they have a point to this. I'll listen to it and then I'll change, or I'll take that advice into heart and then I'll start to do it, or I'll start to think that way. But I feel like Yosa is very much like, I don't even know how to describe it. We were talking about this yesterday. Our other siblings were there, and we all agree that I'm more likely to take advice. And the reason Yosa isn't is that in like when our mom and dad are like talking and giving advice, or one of us are giving advice, she's like, okay, you got it. I understand. She'll say it up front. And then she'll completely ignore it.
okay, but like, when do how would I like do it? Because most of the time it's advice like, oh, you need to change this in your life. Like, how would I like actively show that I'm doing that?
It's in later conversations you would show, oh, okay, I've changed the way I'm thinking.
Okay, but you can't. And it takes a little bit to change. And let me say my reason. I think here are two things. I think, first of all, when I ask for advice, most of the time I'm receptive to it. Like most of the time. Because again, if you
if you're asking.
Yeah, I know. There's some people that ask for the advice and don't want to hear it. And we know one that used to live in a house.
It's okay. They don't watch this podcast.
Yeah. But like, again, there's people that ask for advice and then they don't like what they hear. And sometimes I'm like that. But for the most part, if I ask for the advice, I'm like, all right, let me hear the hard truth. Let me get it. Mm-hmm. You tell it to me straight. But when people give me advice that I don't ask for, and again, like sometimes you just have to deal with it. Here's what happens. So people tell me, and usually the way with our family works, we're shouters. We not like aggressively, but like we just like it's like the volume just elevate our voices. Like the volume just increases as the conversation goes on. So like you're basically like yelling, like, this is why you have to do this. So I'm like just sitting there and I'm like, well, this conversation is never gonna end. So I'm like, okay. Like, yeah. And I will say there's some things I do ignore. But for the most part, I think I'm a little bit like you, especially when it's something very important where I'm like, all right, I can't mess around with this. Like the college thing a couple months ago when you guys were like, okay, you have to look for scholarships, this. I was fighting back because I was like, okay, well, I'm trying. And then later on, I went and I've applied to like 20, 30 scholarships. So it was like there's like a fine line where it's like, it depends on what it is. If it's something that it's like, I don't like when people give me advice when I've already made a decision.
That is true.
Like if like it's like I'm telling you something, and you're like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and then someone's like, well, no, you need to do this because I think this, and this is how like my life went. And I'm like, that's when I'm like, instead of trying to scold me, maybe support my decision. So that's usually when I don't listen is because I've already made a decision. And like I tell like you guys, or I tell mom and dad, you guys like, wait. Like I have something to say. And that's when I'm like, okay, now I don't want to listen because you didn't listen to what I just said. Like, so again, I think she is a little bit more receptive when given advice, but for me, it just depends on what the advice is. It depends on the situation and how it's like perceived to me, like how you give me the advice.
I think that's for everyone though. Like I feel like I hate when you've already decided something, or you're already, it's like, when you're about to do the dishes and then your parents come and they're like,
hey, do the dishes, and you're like,
I'm like,
well, now I don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it. I was already gonna do it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think it's kind of like that, and I feel like we're all like that. But no, I do think, so we're agreeing. You do think I'm more receptive to advice.
I wouldn't say, I did say receptive, but I wouldn't say like, oh, you're more likely to take that advice and act on it. I would say you're more likely to, like, up front, like, be like, okay, I understand this. I see your point. And yes, you do argue back a little bit, but you also do, like, concede to, like, maybe the other person's point. But I'm the kind of person where it's like, I just like, and most of the time, I'm a pretty quiet person. I keep to myself. So when people, like, I rarely ever argue with anyone in the house. So when I do, my parents are like, okay, what's going on? Because, like, Yosa never argues. So that's when they're like, okay, this must be something serious.
But our parents are such busybodies. Like, literally, like, the siblings are talking. Like, why are you
joining the conversation?
And then our mom's like, I'm your mom.
Like, I have
to be in this conversation. I'm like, no, you don't. And then when any one of us joins the conversation, she's like,
they're like, this isn't about you.
This isn't about you. And then you're like, well, it's my sibling. They're like, you're not their mother. You're not their father. I'm
like, we'll clearly be having, like, a discussion. And yes, like, the volume is a little bit raised.
But the volume is always raised in the family.
Our parents, like, come to our room. And I'm like, first of all, our brother's an adult. Our brother's 20 years old. She's 22. I'm almost 18. I'm like, we can have conversations without our parents having to mediate. Like, like, okay, every once in a while they do need to step in, but sometimes we're like having a normal conversation.
Yes.
Like the celebrity thing a couple weeks ago. We were having the conversation, and like our siblings are coming. They're like, what are you guys arguing about? Just because, like, our voices are raised doesn't mean we're actually like, oh, we hate each other.
Yeah, no,
shut
like
up.
in that situation, it wasn't like, oh, why are you talking like that? It was just like, bro,
we were having like a normal discussion.
It's just like, I don't know. It's a problem in our family. We need to lessen our.
See, notice how I don't do that. I don't get involved in other people's business. If two people are fighting, I'm walking the other way. If I hear an argument, back upstairs.
Well, as I've gotten older, I've started to do that more, because it was like, especially when I was younger, I was always like, oh, what's going on? But like nowadays, I'm just like, low-key, I'm too lazy.
I'm like,
I feel like as I've gotten older, I've become lazier, and I'm like, this is too much work to join in.
Especially like when you hear what's about, you're like, nope. It's like, oh, you didn't clean the kitchen and you didn't put away your dishes, this and that. I'm like, nope, because then mom's gonna say something to me, and I'm like, I don't want to be a part of it.
But what makes me so upset though is that I am not even part of the conversation, and our parents always find a way to bring me in.
Yeah,
and I'm
they do. They forget me. I'm upstairs doing my
like I'm upstairs. They're talking to someone else, and then they're like, oh, she does. I'm like, why are you bringing me up?
Like, we'll be on FaceTime, and our dad will be like, oh, but your sister Osatohamen. I'm like, she isn't even in the vicinity.
Yeah, I'm not in the FaceTime call, and somehow I'm still brought up.
So this is less of a debate. It's more of us agreeing that, like, we're not the problem.
We're not the problem. It's the parents.
Yeah. Love you, mom and dad, but, yeah.
Okay. The next one. Okay, I think that this last one is, quite honestly, like, we were going back and forth on this one a lot. And it's, who is more likely to miss their flight?
Okay. Just hear me out. Here are my reasons. I don't think, again, a lot of these I don't think that she can't do. I just think I'm more likely to do. I don't think she would ever miss a flight, because I know she wouldn't.
On purpose.
And if she would, it wouldn't be your fault.
Yeah.
So I think I am a more organized person. I am usually more on top of things, and I'm someone that hates being late. I cannot be late. If I am late, I'm so upset. I hate being late to anything. If people make me late, I'm gonna be pissed at you. That's how I am. So like I am always like this and this, this and this. And again, I don't really fly. Like, you've flown probably 30 more times than I have. Again,
30, that's a crazy number. I don't think
maybe like 30 more times, not 30 times. Like, like 1 plus 30, not 1 times 30.
I've never flown 30 times.
I know, but I'm like, as an exaggeration.
What?
Anyway, so again, like, she's flown more than me. So I'm like, but I just think just the way I am, like, once I get a routine down, that's what it is. Like, if I if this is my schedule, that's what it is. And if you mess with that, like we're gonna have some problems. Like I just think I'm someone that is more likely to like prevent everything in my power to not miss the flight. And like I don't think she would miss the flight, but I feel like just between the two of us, it would be more likely to be her that would miss the flight just because of the way we both have like lived our lives necessarily. So
No, I feel like if you're using, like, if we had both like flown the exact same amount of times, I feel like that would be a very that would be a good enough argument, and I would agree. I'm like, yeah, you're more
Yeah.
organized than me. You hate being late. Not that I love being late, but like it's just it happens. But me and flights, anyone that knows me knows that I am so on top of flying, like so on top of it. Like most airlines, you could check in 24 hours before. I am sitting 15 minutes on the app to check in 24 hours before. Like I like usually like to leave. I like to be in the gate, or I like to get to the airport 2 hours before boarding so I can get through check-in. I am always on top of it. I know what time I'm at. I know what seat I'm at. I know when I'm leaving. I know when I'm arriving. I have the app on my phone. I have the Apple thing. Like everything is on top of it. So I can understand for maybe any regular run-of-the-mill thing, yes. But I have shown that I am. We have
That's
to go.
true.
We have to go. Like
I think evidence-based, it would most likely be her again because she's flown a lot more than I have. But I feel like what I'm saying is like once I get to that point where I am flying, I feel like I would be less likely to miss a flight out of the two of us. Not that it can't happen. Like of course. Like,
yeah, like I had a flight I think at 7 a.m. I think it was 7. And I got to the airport at 5 a.m. It was a Monday. I'm still upset about this till this day. And I was going, or no, it was a Tuesday, and I was going back to college in St. Louis at the time. And so I also had I had a chemistry lab. And with these chemistry labs, in this class at least, you can't miss class. I'm not even kidding. Like, you don't miss class. And so I was like, okay, once I get to the airport, I have to do this. So I get there 2 hours. I get there at 5 a.m. The flight is at 7. And for some reason that day, everyone and their mother, every camp was there. All these kids in T-shirts, like, oh, Jesus camp, and like all these random things, purple, yellow. The line was wrapping. And I'm like, it's 5 a.m. Why are we all here?
everyone's trying to get to that flight.
I was so mad. And so I come 2 hours early. I'm in the security. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss my flight. What's going to happen? And I'm like literally looking at I was about to purchase TSA check, like pre-TSA check-in or whatever it's called. I was like, I'm going to purchase it. How do you purchase it? And I'm like, I can't even purchase it in line. Like you have to, it's all these things. I finally get there and I'm like running, like, you know, those in the movies, the person that's running.
Home
I'm
Alone.
running. Yeah, I'm running to my gate. I get to my gate. They had just shut the door.
Oh my
I
gosh,
was so
that's
upset
awful.
because I'm so on top of it. Like I wake up, I do this, and I just missed it. So I have missed a flight, unfortunately, but that was not my fault. That was the situation. But I know myself. This is tough because I don't think you would also miss a flight. It just doesn't. It doesn't. Now, do I think our brother would miss?
I feel like he would look like he wouldn't miss a flight. He would miss a flight, but he wouldn't. But also, didn't he sleep in? He slept in at his hotel, so he checked out late. He slept until 12 when he's supposed to check out 9 or 10. And my parents had to call the hotel, remember, and they had to be like, oh, our son's still there and he hasn't checked out, and then he had to go to his flight or whatever.
I don't remember that.
It's a year. It was when he was on one of his visits or something. It was a year. I remember mom and dad had to call the hotel because he slept in through his whatever. But again, things happen where it's it's not like, oh, I'm like a late person or this is the kind of person I am. It's just like, it was just a situation. It was like you were tired, whatever it was. So
overall, I feel like we kind of like in the beginning we're like, oh, I'm better than this, better than you. But I feel like we like overall, when it really matters, we're both pretty responsible people. Like our parents just like raised all of us, all our siblings and you and I, just really responsibly. So we're like on top of a lot of things. Like all of us are able to do almost exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just like when it comes down to it,
at the end, it's just personality. I think.
I think it's just personality. I think that we're both equally able to do everything, but in our mind, I think it's more opinion. We just think
like
that
everyone's gonna think like, oh, I'm better.
I'm better.
You know? But don't worry, this will become a little mini series, and we'll have more debate topics. It'll be a lot juicier, so don't worry. We'll get into the heated discussions, or the volume might.
I feel like has the volume elevated in this discussion?
Not really. We've been pretty good. So
we're good. Proud. We're good on camera. We need to become like the reality TV show. I mean, I hate reality TV.
Like we're like, take this, I'm done, and they show them like walking off the camera. It's funny. It's like, I'm out, and it's like, and then the person's like in a corner. Like one of the episodes of The Bachelor, like one of the girls is like, the guy goes like, I'm done, and he like hopped over the fence, and the camera like followed him. He's like, get the effing camera out of my face, and then like ran away. And I'm like, I can't even tell if this is staged, because the guy was literally a crash out. Like he was crazy. And I was like, all right, you do you, but
you do you.
No one's gonna marry you after that. But that's all we have for today. So if you did stay to the end of this movie, make sure you give us your opinion.
She's thinking this is reality TV.
Yeah, like, oh, this
a reality movie.
Yeah. If you did stay to the end of this episode, make sure you put in the comments who you think is more likely to do any of the questions we talked about. Again, you don't know us very well, but just based off of first impressions, first appearances. Make sure
and this whole conversation.
Exactly. Make sure you like and subscribe, turn on push notification, follow us on all social media platforms, and make sure you give us a good review on wherever you're listening to this. And we'll see you guys next week.
Okay, bye.